Okay, I'm trying to recover from a nervous breakdown. My desktop computer, I've had it for approximately 10 years, maybe a little longer than that. It's died in the past, but it came back to life and I bought an external uh T drive and backed up. This morning it did another die, only this was a different die than it's done before. It had been doing an update last evening and I just let it go. And when I came down this morning, there was this big error message on the screen. Updates failed to upload. You need this password. Not a clue. Not a clue in the world. You need a keyboard password. No, this isn't the original keyboard. That was like 5 or 6 keyboards ago. I have no idea. It took about 30 minutes, booting, unbooting, booting, unbooting, booting, unbooting, and then I spotted this little button. Ignore! Sounds good to me. 4 more boots, she was back up. I'm ordering external hard drives all over the place. I got the paper files backed up, but apparently there's over 100,000 pictures. So I belong to a genealogical organization. I'm the historian. These are probably the only copies that exist of these pictures, plus my family pictures. So, anyways, this is Flashback Monday. And I was thinking, well, because if you've watched my Flashback Mondays in the past, I get a little carried away with Flashback Monday. But apparently, the last couple of Flashback Mondays, the piles have gotten smaller, and that's been bothering me. If then Fridays become bigger and Flashback Mondays become smaller, and it occurs to me that they're doing less and less books. And I didn't realize that. And I was trying to compare some of the magazines. They're doing less and less books. Maybe they know that their next year is going to be their final year. But they're doing less and less books. That's where there's less and less. Which, in a way, is sort of kind of good, because if you've been watching Flashback Monday, you know that my internet upload speed is like a 2. So it takes 15 to 20 hours to upload Flashback Monday. I would love to do one of these live. I don't have enough subscribers. I'd be talking to myself. Well, I am talking to myself. So this is 2015. We've only got 12, 17, 16 issues to go, and that's it. We got some new stuff coming. I think, maybe, hopefully, maybe, sorta, kinda, hopefully, maybe, kinda, maybe, kinda, sorta, maybe, I don't know. Help! Help! How do you fix this? Help! Oh well. Are you here? Are you joining in on Flashback Monday? Come here. You want to comfort Mommy after her traumatic morning? Go on. Alright. We always start with Regency. We always end with Harlequin. Sometimes erotica. I just filmed something special for later. We'll see how it goes. Alright. Regency. Oh, I love Regencies. I gotta do this. I've gotta take these pieces of paper off. Viewers. We need to do a Viewer's Choice Awards. Okay. So, Regencies. Oh, look. Secrets of a Scandalous Heiress. And I hate these stupid error messages. Get out of there. Okay. So, let's see. Say yes to the marquees. Say yes to the marquees. Naked girl on the cover. We're getting equal here. 4 stars. And by the way, most of the ones I do are 4 or 4.5 stars. This is 4.5 stars. Can't hold this. Inheriting Castles Ever After title is a life-changing experience, one that comes with surprises, unexpected romance, meddlesome friends and family, and a wonderful hero. Aww. Into this. Cleo Whitmore has waited 8 years for Pierce Brandon, the Marquis of Granville, to marry her. Now that she's inherited Castle Twill, she's not going to wait any longer. All she needs is for Pierce's brother to sign the documents that will dissolve the betrothal and set her free. Rafe Brandon, however, refuses to sign away his brother's future happiness. He will plan the wedding of the century to keep Cleo and Pierce together. But Rafe doesn't count on falling in love with Cleo. When his brother returns, Rafe learns to fight for love. Aww. Naked girl on the cover. That's a first. I guess we have seen them before. Usually it's a naked guy on the cover. If you wait till September, you're gonna see naked guys on the cover. Actually, I don't think any of those had naked guys on the cover. Isn't that odd? You'll have to check those out in September. Let's see. There's a duke in my bed. Did you know there's a duke in your bed? Looks like he's missing a shirt. Let's see if there's another one. There's usually... Well, that's her. Nope. Well, coming back to that one. I mean, let's look at this. No. Okay, so then let's look in the back just to double check. Nah, it would have been. This magazine is getting smaller. I remember when it was 80, over 100 pages. They usually do it. There we go. Nope. Nope, that's it. So, Amelia Gray. There's a duke in my bed. Well, better a duke than a baron. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. 4 stars. Gray lights up the dark days of winter with a charming, humorous, and sensual romance. The well-paced, delightfully plotted love story revolves around a determined, independent heroine and a bachelor caught up in a wager that leads readers into a joyous, sexy novel. I wonder if we included this for our bets. I don't remember. Known for his wild, reckless ways, Bray Drakestone never turns down a wager. But when a challenge ends in tragedy, Bray must marry the dying man's sister. Louise Prim is the eldest of 5 girls and couldn't care less about Ray. Her only concern is for her siblings' well-being. The clubs are abuzz, however, and the betting books are full of wagers concerning the pair. Then Bray makes a brazen bet. He will marry Louisa, but she will be the one to propose. Louisa is determined to win, but Bray's kisses are the devil's temptations. Okay. The Duke of Dark Desires. Well, that's interesting. Over here in the corner. Down here. So we can show that without the glare. And the Lindsay Sands book is not in here. Alright, so where was I? The Duke of Dark Desires. Miranda Neville. Oops, I have failed. This is a 3-star book. I admit it. Readers of the Wild Quartet series will recall the tortured Duke of Denford just enough to be intrigued by his tale of redemption and revenge. With his lengthy build-up, readers will really need to commit to the story and the characters. Okay. So it's a slow start. Lady Janine D. Falloran, a.k.a. Jane Grey, has spent 9 years hunting for the man responsible for sending her family to the guillotine. All she recalls is the name of Fortescue. Julian Fortescue has spent years trying to untangle the events surrounding the Fallons' death and find the man who betrayed them. When Julian is suddenly saddled with caring for his 3 half-sisters, he quickly hires the first governess who applies. Aw, and then he falls in love with her, right? How can you see that coming? How to plan a wedding for a spy? For a royal spy? Oh, there's Duke in the bed. There's the cover a little sorta kinda better. Sorta kinda. I was looking for let's see. How to plan a wedding for a spy. Lady in Pink. That doesn't wait a minute. 4 stars. 1815 England. Anyone who enjoys being immersed in the series will savor how Kelly carefully sets the stage for a romance centering on the illegitimate sons of royalty. Though the pacing is unhurried, this tale picks up as the hero and heroine are entangled in unmasking a band of assassins. After the Battle of Waterloo, Captain William Endicott returns to England ready to be of service to his country. When his father, the Duke, requests he look into an assassination plot by a band of Irish rebels, possibly connected to his childhood sweetheart, Will is perplexed. Lady Evie Whitney is the quietest, sweetest, most loving woman he knows. She could never be a spy. On to mainstream. Mainstream! I think The Dress Shop of Dreams. No, where did I see that? Here we go. The Dress Shop of Dreams. 4.5 stars. Van Prague's latest is filled with magic, love, and the bonds of family. The writing is thoroughly engaging and will whisk readers away to a place where anything is possible. Boy, you look thrilled. Am I boring you? Cora Sparks' parents died under mysterious circumstances when she was a child. As an adult, she has little memory of her childhood. Kyra immerses herself in scientific research and carrying on her parents' work. Walt, the owner of the bookstore down the street from Kyra's grandmother's Aunt Etta, who has loved Kyra since childhood, although she's seemingly obviously takes Etta's magic with dresses to help Kyra face the past in order to move towards the future. Okay. I don't get it, but we'll try it. Saving Grace. Why? Oh, Miss Green. Four and a half stars. Packed with slow building suspense and deeply developed characters, this novel will creep into the mind, wrapping the brain and taking it for an artfully written adventure. Trapped in a seemingly perfect life that is anything but, Grace Champton has mastered the art of masking the truth. When her literary powerhouse husband loses his assistant, Grace is desperate to replace the one who kept him in his anger in check and their life on track. Finding Beth is almost like fate. It seems as though everything will finally be right again until Grace slowly feels herself and the life she once knew slipping away out of her grasp. I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't understand any of that. But anyways, another night, another day. 4 stars. Sarah Rayner. Do you know I have Rayners in my family tree? There was Rayner Town in New York. 4 stars. Rayner dishes out another page-turning novel, but one with incredibly different tone from her last entry. Getting even, whereas her previous novel dealt with a much lighter subject matter in a humorous and heartfelt tone. Another Night, Another Day takes a realistic approach to mental illness. Okay. 3 people with different problems and situations all need help. Karen is dealing with the impending loss of her father. Abby is stressing about how to care for her autistic son in the wake of her marriage falling apart. And Michael is on the verge of bankruptcy. All 3 have a hard time handling their respective situations, and soon they will all wind up together at Moreland Psychiatric Clinic. Maybe they will all help each other through it. You think that's the deal? And let's move on to teen. You know, I looked at that pile, and I looked at that pile. I know I have this book. I looked at that pile, and I looked at that pile, and the book did not magically appear in front of my face. And I looked at that pile, and it still didn't appear in my face. I know I have it. I cannot find it nowheres. The Dead of Winter. Grelsy Grow. Somebody wants to gift me the book, please. I have a wish list on Amazon. The D. Louise book series wish list. When I'm going through the magazine, and I'm like, oh shoot, I missed that one in my series. I add it to my list. So most of the books that are in my wish list are like 20 years old. But Dead of Winter, Kelsey Kroll. Cole has hit her stride with the Arcana Chronicles, and this is the strongest entry to date. Evie is evolving into a powerhouse, not only with her powers, but with her inner strength as well. Evie is on her way to save her first love Jack from the clutches of lovers after she and her allies launch a successful rescue campaign. The lovers' chilling motives are revealed. Racing against the clock to rescue their newest captive, Evie must face Jack and Death to work together before time runs out. The Conspiracy of Us. The book in the middle. 4.5 stars. Thrilling and addictive, Hall's debut is a knockout as Avery sets out to learn more about her family and the Circle of 12. Readers are taken on a whirlwind adventure. Hall demonstrates writing, resulting in a vivid and fast-paced novel. Avery West's life is turned upside down after discovering she's the lost heir to a powerful secret society known as the Circle of 12. The more Avery learns about the Circle and its members, the more hesitant she becomes, along with 2 mysterious and alluring guys who have secrets of their own. Avery's not sure who she should trust. And the other book on the cover is Reborn. Jennifer Rush, 4.5 stars. Full of octane tension and action, Reborn is absolutely fantastic and may be Rush's best book yet. In this latest altered title, she continues to shine as an adept writer who knows how to successfully fuse action, intrigue, and romance into a cohesive story. With the branch quickly falling to pieces, Nick heads out on his own to unravel his past. His search leads him to a small town where he comes face to face with Elizabeth, the girl of his dreams, who is tied to his past. Will she give him answers? Does she know the answers? Does she know anything? We shall see. And Frostfire, Amanda Hocking. A white book. It may look good in person, but on the page, you can't really see it. Amanda Hawking, 4.5 stars. Hawking is a paranormal young adult favorite, and her latest does not disappoint. Readers will feel transported by the beautiful written story. There's adventure, heart, and thrills. Protagonist Brian is filled with such power and determination she will do whatever it takes to follow her dreams. In the beautiful kingdom hidden away, there's a society with many rules. One girl, Brian Avon, is held as part of society, but she has a dream. She wants to protect the kingdom and become a member of the king's guard. But thanks to her status, she can never become a protector. When there's an attack on the kingdom, Brian gets her chance. She finally stopped the person who did her family wrong all those years ago and goes on a journey. We'll see what happens there. Inspirational. The genealogical society that I belong to has rules for everything. Literally everything. How to walk into a room, how to sit at a table, how the people are presented who are speaking. And the ultimate, I did this a couple of years ago. It's in my, if you search my D. Louise book series thing, Robert Rules of Order is the book. And it's in my search thing. And it will even tell you how to use the restroom. I am not kidding. In my thoughts, the one that needs to go first is the one that's going to wet their pants the first. In the Robert Rules of Orders, the most highest ranking person in the room goes first. I like my way better. But rules are rules. Lisa Samson, Thing of Beauty. Okay. 4.5 stars. One can read Sampson's latest novel and enjoy the gorgeously written prose and be entertained by the story. Or readers can let the deeper spiritual message in their souls and come out changed. Former child actress Fiona Hume is in a desperate situation. Her mother is about to publish a tell-all about her life, and Fiona wants to show the world that everything is fine. In order to do that, she must act and dress as if she still has a great deal of money, except she doesn't. See what happens. Gabriel's Atonement. Top half here. Viggy McDonough, 4.5 stars. With superb characterization and well-written action, the first book in the Land Rush series will have readers feeling as if they are riding headlong into the middle of the Oklahoma land rush. Additionally, the romance between a gambler wanting to atone for wrong and a young widow trying to survive is both tender and sweet. A poignant tale. McDonough's new series is off to a promising start and looks to be quite entertaining. Wanting to atone for his part in the shooting, a disgruntled cowboy gambler Gabe Coulter sets out to find his family and make amends. But what he doesn't count on was finding young widow Lara Talbot so headstrong or so lovely. Each day they grow closer and closer and closer. At Home in Last Chance. Bottom of the page. Let's see. 4 stars. Armstrong's third installment of the A Place to Call Home series, set in Last Chance, New Mexico, is truly like coming home. As Caitlin Reed tries to prove to everyone that she's changed her ways, no one wants to cut her much slack. She trudges away, working at the Dip and Dine for her brother Chris, and tries to be the best mother possible to her daughter Livy. Caitlin didn't plan on becoming captivated by the town's resident bad boy Stephen, but as they get to know each other, they fall in love. Hidden agenda. Now tell me, does this look like an inspirational book to you just by the cover? I know, don't judge a book by a cover, and looks can be deceiving and all that kind of stuff. But does that look like an inspirational book to you? I'm just saying. 4 stars. The third book in Harris's Southern Crime series is a fitting capper to this exciting trilogy. Complex issues and truly evil villains keep the story moving quickly. Everyone thinks Michael Hunt is dead, but his months of undercover work are put in jeopardy when his identity is compromised. Slated for execution, the crime boss daughter Olivia Hamilton and her hearing-impaired brother Ivan risk their lives to save Michael. Aww. Courting Emily? Here? 4 stars. A sweet contemporary romance with lovable characters. The storyline flows throughout the book and is believable. Amy Lillard writes her Amish stories with respect that are due. As the bishop daughter Emily Embersole is expected to marry an Amish man and follow the teachings of the Bible, Emily has loved Luke Lambright since they were children. And since she has pinned all her dreams on him for his part, Luke is in love with the race cars, and during his rumspun, he left Wells Landing to pursue his dream. Meanwhile, Elon Ryle has feelings for Emily for a long time, but knows she doesn't return his feelings. Elam knows it won't exactly be easy to convince Emily he is the better choice for her. So what's gonna happen there? And let's move on to sci-fi. Um, the Just City, 4.5 stars. Walton is not only an amazing writer, she's an amazing writer who almost never does the same way twice. The Just City is delight, both playful and intellectually rigorous. It doesn't, not even for a second, require a background in philosophy, but it just might tempt its readers to acquire one since they're done. Plato's Republic contains an audacious plan to create a city that maximizes justice, and a goddess palace, Athene, can't resist trying to see if it will actually work in real life. Using her ability to travel through time, Athene journeys back to set up her city, tucked away on a doomed island in a backwater of history, staffed with thinkers from across the centuries. Her brother Apollo, who realizes that he has some things to learn about people, becomes human and takes his place as one of the city's 10,000 citizens. Okay. Lost my magic marker. Um, the Dreamer's Daughter. I think that's what that says. Um, Side note. Dreamer's Daughter. 4.5 stars. Carlin concludes another wonderful trilogy with her Nine Kingdom fantasy series by having her heroine Aisling of Boudoir unlock the truth about herself. Aisling's quest to restore her county's rightful ruler has gotten significantly more complicated and dangerous, but it also has brought her unexpected love. Prince Ru of Singal assumed that his evil brother Gare stole his magic during their confrontation at the well. But though Aisling's weaving talent, they learned Ruck's mother hid his magic under his scars. Okay. I don't get it, but anyways. I'm not too sure about this one. Have you seen this picture before? It's from 1940 something. The Last American Vampire, Seth. 4 stars. In his follow-up to Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, Seth Smith captures the reader's attention almost instantly. Henry Sturgis has been alive since before the birth of America. Witnessing the country's accession into world power developed a deep loyalty within him, which prompts him to travel the world on secret missions for the nation's safety. As this world changes from one just barely introduced to electricity to a world where DNA is understood and complex computers exist, Henry plays a part in nearly every setting in turn of the century. Alright, let's move on to mystery. My second favorite section. I know where this goes. I know you're here. Cold, Cold Heart, Tammy Hogue, 4.5 stars. Master storyteller Hogue focuses her new book on the surviving victim of the serial killer from her previous book, The Ninth Girl, and explores what happens next, less of a thriller and more of a psychological study. Hogue vividly explores the aftermath of violence, PTSD, and head trauma syndrome. That Dana Nolan not only survived horrific torture but managed to kill her abuser, a serial killer called Doc Holliday, is a miracle. However, the physical and psychological damage she suffered is extensive. Severe head trauma has left Dana with jagged memory gaps and some brain damage. To recover, Dana returns home to Shelby Mills, Indiana. The media fascination with Dana revives interest in an old mystery, the disappearance of her best friend Casey Grant. So Dana starts to look for Casey Grant's stuff. See what happens. For Whom the Bluebells Toll. Our antique lady, I believe. Doesn't she have an antique treasure series, this lady? Or am I getting her confused with somebody else? The second book in the series is a great read. Alan brings reality television to life in the town of Ramble, Virginia. Audrey Bloom's ex-boyfriend Brad calls her from out of the blue to let her know that the reality hit show Fix My Wedding is filming an episode in Ramble. Not only that, but he has recommended her shop, the Rose Bloom, to do the flowers, and she is floored. The cast and crew roll into town and stir up trouble. When one of the stars is murdered, suspicion falls on Brad, as he has a public argument with the deceased. As Audrey fights against the clock to find the real killer, she also has to decide whether to give Brad another chance or continue her relationship with the local baker, Nick. See what happens. Thomas Perry. String of Beads. 4 stars. Jane Whitfield is an incredible protagonist who changes and saves lives. Although some of her antics may be far-fetched, readers will come to adore her. A String of Beads is an exciting and well-paced novel that readers can't put down until the last word. When the clan mothers from Jane Whitfield's childhood show up at her door unannounced and ask her to save one of the tribesmen falsely accused of murder, she reluctantly agrees. As she takes her childhood friend Jimmy on the run, they are hunted not only by the police but also by those much more sinister and ruthless. Okay. Um, Winter at the Door. 4 stars. Sarah Graves creates a unique and engaging heroine in Elizabeth Lizzie Snow. Set in the rural woods of northern Maine, her location rawness gives the novel an eerie and suspenseful tone. You know, I know some author who lives in Maine who likes to terrorize people with his books. You might know the man, Mr. King. Sorry. 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 I don't know. There's not an ounce of Southern in me. I'm a New Yorker through and through. Ah, sometimes I miss the food. New York pizza, a New York bagel, a New York bacon, egg, and cheese on a Kaiser, a pizza, New York Chinese food, a bakery. We have bakeries in stores, but not a bakery. You don't know what a bakery is until you've been in a New York bakery. But anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, Winter at the Door. When Lizzie Snow takes the job as community liaison officer in a small town of Bearkill, Maine, she does so for selfish reasons. She believes her missing niece may be in the area, and she will stop at nothing to find her. And as she searches for the niece, it appears someone nearby is doing all they can to stop her from learning the truth. Eerie, 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 eerie. So hey, if you take 2 cups of flour, I gotta do this when I finish the video. Take 2 cups of flour. Take a cup of sugar, white sugar. Take a cup of brown sugar. 2 sticks of butter, I think. Teaspoon or a tablespoon? I think it's a teaspoon. No, tablespoon. Tablespoon of vanilla. And a bag of Nestle chips. And you mix it all up together and throw it in the oven. And you got yourself some chocolate chip cookies. You know what else? You take a tablespoon or about a tablespoon of butter, and you melt it in the pot. And then you take a tablespoon of flour and thicken up the butter. And then you take a cup of milk and you put it in the thing with the butter and the flour. And you get that going a little bit. And then you stick in 2, 3, 4, how many cups you want. At least 2. Minimum is 2. Shredded cheddar. And then you throw in your cup and a half of macaronis. And you stir it all up. And then, I don't know how I got on this kick. But anyways, you can throw the breadcrumbs on it and throw it in the oven till the cheese melts. Till it bubbles a little bit. You can you can throw chicken and peas in it and bacon and spice it up. I know a relative that used to load it with paprika. Like, no, not for me. You can put ham in it, chopped ham. You can do anything you want with macaroni and cheese. You can change it up 6 ways to Sunday, backwards and forwards, any way you want to make it. So, you know what I'm having for dinner? Homemade macaroni and cheese and hot dogs. But anyway, where was I? I got off on the kick, so I'll have to make the cookies. My mentally handicapped brother told me that we were out of cookies and I needed to make them. He likes to have his 4 cookies a day. Oh, Tess Gerritsen, Rizzoli and Isles. If you have not watched the Rizzoli and Isles TV series, go do it. Miss Harmon does a really good job. And she also, I don't know how many of you know this, but she did appear as Lindsay Boxer on the very short-lived Women's Murder Club series on TV. The lady that plays Isles was from NCIS. She left NCIS to do Rizzoli and Isles. Die Again. The newest Rizzoli and Isles thriller got 4 stars. It is actually the intersection of 2 series from opposite continents. How does a Botswanian tourist safari gone horribly wrong linked to a shocking murder in Boston? Jane and Maura are about to find out. An element that helps elevate the eerie factor in this tale is how Gerritsen accents the similarities of prey stalking by dangerous big cats and that of a human killer. 6 years ago, a group of tourists went into the remote bush of Botswana for an adventure safari and never returned. For this unlucky group, it wasn't only the wild animals they need to fear, but there was a human killer among them. Today in Boston, homicide detective Jane Rizzoli and medical examiner Maura Isles are summoned to examine the scene of a horrific murder, where big game hunter and taxidermist Leo Galt is gruesomely displayed like one of his kills. Not good. A seamless murder. Cozy mystery, anybody? Cozy. 4 stars. Bourbon has another great neat read to add to her list. The people of the town are quite interesting bunch, including the ghost of Harlow Mima, who helps her deal with the situation that she finds herself in. Harlow Jane Cassidy has been the special gift of granting her customers' deepest wishes when they wear a piece of her clothing she has sewn. She decided to help a local women's group by sewing aprons for them. Her first apron is for Delta Mae Mobley, a woman who despises the town of Bliss and residents. With Harlow trying to anticipate what Delta Mae could possibly wish for, she is surprised when the woman turns up dead. It appears that there is a long list of people who did not care for the deceased, but Harlow decides to try and find out what happened. Oh, that's not good. Alright, suspense. Let's get on with it. Romantic suspense. Lots of pictures here. Lots and lots of pictures. Lots of pictures. Hey, didn't we do... Alright, it's okay. Didn't we just do that? I'm gonna add this to another one of those. I did this thing that you'll see at the end of the month. Or... no, it hasn't aired yet. Right, yeah, because June hasn't... but... where does it go? I'm starting this new thing called... that is so messed up. That is so messed up. Okay, look. Remember, we talked about Reborn here? And the review right here. And you see it's in teen, right? It's in our teen section. Here we are in romantic suspense. Look what's there. Look what's next to Jane Krantz. Reborn. Same author, same book, same title. And it's not reviewed. So I wonder why they pictured it twice. Because it's not reviewed in suspense. It's not reviewed here. So let's get through it with Kendra Elliott. Bridged. Top pick. Elliott's follow-up to Vanish will make your skin crawl in a good way. This top-notch thriller writer knows romance just as well as she knows how to keep you glued to your seat. Ava McLean suffers from a gunshot wound, but nothing makes her heart hurt more than pain gorgeous police detective Mason Callahan inflicts upon her. Once the Oregon police team shows up with the FBI, they both know that the murder of the congressman found in Portland is such a much more important than the burning desire between a man and a woman. As the dead bodies keep turning up, the two have no choice but to suppress their attraction and get down to business. Rebecca Zanny. We're getting to know her. Marked. Also a top pick. 4.5 stars. Marked as a fast-paced, excitement-filled explosion of action that will not disappoint. Zanetti brings her heat with the story of two people who are supposed to be enemies but have a bond so strong it can't be broken. Janet Janey knows to all the races as the chosen one. She can see the future and everyone would have loved to have her. At a meeting of the heads of each race, Jane is surprised to learn that their childhood friend Zane is part demon, a sworn enemy of her vampire family. Zane has always known that Jamie was his and that one day they would be together. Okay. Jane Ann Krantz. Trust no one. A great way to begin New Year by indulging in a hot new romantic suspense offering by the amazing Krantz. 4.5 stars, by the way. Discovering the body of her boss places Grace Ellen in an unwelcome spotlight and brings up gruesome old memories. When Grace Ella discovers the murdered body of her motivational guru boss, Sprague Witherspoon, she knows her life is about to be upended again. This event also brings back horrific memories of the last time a then teenage Grace discovered a body and confronted a killer. As a favor to his old friend, Police Chief Devlin, venture capitalist Julius agrees to a blind date with Grace to gauge her culpability. Julius quickly knocks Grace out of a suspect pool, but disturbingly learns she's being stalked. Okay. And Hungry Like a Wolf, Paige Tyler. Hungry Like the Wolf promises to be a fun action-adventure following the exploits of SWAT team for the Dallas PD. The investigative reporter Mackenzie Stone has a nose for digging up secrets that can threaten Dallas SWAT team members. The bombshell, they are all secretly werewolves. Because of some of their physical exploit, Mac is trying to find evidence of illicit drug use. When Unit Commander Jade Dixon tries to distract her, it turns out that Mac is giving off pheromones that signal her as Gates' mate. Aww. She's gonna be one of the insiders now. You know it. Let's do the last one. Rebecca York. Private affair. Naked guy on the cover. York's sweetest, newest addition to the engrossing Rockford security romance series is hot and jam-packed with enough twists and turns to make readers dizzy. A much-needed break from the hustle and bustle of New York City is in store for model Olivia Winters when she returns to her hometown. She learns of a former classmate who committed suicide, and R&R seems out of the question when another murder begins to surface. Reluctantly, she calls on an old acquaintance, bad boy P.I. Max Lyon, to help solve the case. All right, contemporary romance. I've only got a couple here. Christy Ridgway, Make Me Lose Control. Expected 4.5 stars. Expect to giggle and possibly shed a tear while reading Ridgway's Ladies' Cabin Fever novel. The stupendous setting is almost as brilliant as the free-spirited characters who will remain in your thoughts long after you finish. Shay Walker has decided to shut off her feelings and work towards becoming a responsible adult. Unfortunately, having a one-night stand with Hattie Jace Jennings, who also happens to be her student's father, isn't the greatest decision she has ever made. Shay tries to forget the sizzling fling, but once she learns that Jace is residing in her town, her dreams begin to come true. Aww. Dogwood Hill. Let's see. Dogwood Hill. 4.5 stars. This Chesapeake Shores novel will soon become a favorite on romance readers' beloved shelves thanks to Wood's charming terms of endearment throughout. The O'Brien's faithful residents of Chesapeake Shores welcome former football star Aiden to their beloved town with open arms. He has accepted a coaching job at the high school to lift the players' spirits and break their losing streak. Widow Liz March isn't so sure about this gorgeous athlete, and she can't put a finger on why. Liz is still brokenhearted, so she tries to stay away from the popular stranger, but their attraction is obvious and it grows. Aww. Alright. Nope, wait, there's one more. I couldn't. Or maybe there isn't. Why did I get this? Oh, here it is. Yes. I could not, when I saw this, let's see if I can do this. Okay. So I've got a few candles. And that candle's supposed to be up there, but because the one took the nosedive, I'm afraid to put the candle up there, so that's why there's an extra candle there. But that's exactly that entire shelf. Those here. Those two candles, they cover that entire shelf is this author. The entire shelf. However, unlike this book, which I will not read. Shoot. These are vampires and dragons and more dragons and zombies. This was a series. The Zen and Art of Vampires. Oh, there you go. The Last of the Red Hot Vampires. We should do this for a series. Just one sip. Even vampires get the blues. They were in order. I have to fix them after the video. Ah, so, anyways, where were we? She's still sleeping. Knowing that I have all of those, I will never read this one. Where was I? The Importance of Being Alice. Wasn't this a movie at one point? 4 stars. The always giggle-inducing McAllister treats her fans to a debut of a brand new contemporary romance series. The unexpected collapse of a relationship is a launching pad for a humorous tale that uses the forced proximity trope to bring two people together. After 2 years together and just days before their romantic European cruise, which was supposed to end with their wedding, Alice Wood finds herself dumped by fiancé Patrick. Since Patrick is also her boss, she's out of a job too. And then she finds Patrick has offered the cruise to an old friend, Elliot Ansley, a British aristocrat and author who needs time away from his family to finish his recent book. And then Alice and Elliot get in a romance. If you want to read a better book, what did this get? This got 4 stars. It got 4 stars. But let's take the beginning of this book and say you're going to go to London and you're going to celebrate your wedding anniversary, and you discover your husband is having an affair with a cousin. Wait a second. So, you can get your romance from this. You can get your romance, your breakup, and then your romance rebound. Or, you can get mystery. I love this book. I recommend it to every single person I meet. I swear. This one and Steve Berry's Patriot. Those are the 2. I am forever recommending these books to everybody and anybody. And we get to finish up here. Oh, wait, we have one more romance. Carolyn Brown, The Trouble with Texas Cowboys, 4 stars. Brown's latest is chock full of ruggedly handsome boys with a plucky heroine at the center. Jill Cleary ends up smack in the middle of a long-standing feud when she gets 2 knocks on her door, not long after she arrives on Fiddle Creek Ranch, and each knock from a handsome cowboy, each one from feuding families. Both Quaid and Tyler want to stake a claim on Jill. Okay? I don't get it. Naked guy on the cover. Alright, moving on to a much abbreviated paranormal section. Somebody was watching the movies. Crouching Tiger, Forbidden Vampire, naked guy on the cover. 4 stars, Carolyn's Box. If you haven't watched my Roman-esque, Jaganiski, whatever you say his name, or the Argino Sands, go watch all those videos. Those are hot. It's like Crouching Tiger, Forbidden Vampire could be the final installment of the Love It Steak series, but what a way to go. This is a Dragonesque finale? I didn't know it was a Dragonesque finale. But look out, there isn't a sexy vampire hero and a strong tiger shifter heroine. We went from the last time it was a bear. Russell wakes up from a coma to discover he's been turned into a vampire, and now he's bent on revenge, swearing to hunt down the vampire villain, Master Han, who turned him. But when he finally has his master vampire in his sight, his shot is interrupted by the lovely were-tigress Julia, who is also tracking Master Ham and bent on seeking vengeance. Okay, everybody's out for vengeance. Blood Assassin, Alexandra Ivy, who holds the shelf over there. 4 stars. In the second installment of Ivy's Sentinel series, she explores how far a father would go to save his child. Very far indeed. With the guardian duties to Kelly Brown and warrior sentinel as Faye is planning on returning to the monastery. This does not sit well with powerful psychic and telepath Sarah. She has loved Faye for years. When Sarah inexplicably leaves Vala, Faye senses something wrong and follows her and discovers she has a child. Oh, I don't know, maybe his child. Naked guy on the cover. And uh what are those? Kitty does. I don't know why she did all the. See if they're in here. Otherwise, I'd have to take. Kitty goes to war. Kitty's big trouble. Kitty's greatest show. Kitty steals the show. Kitty rocks the house. Kitty does this. It's like Debbie Does Dallas. If you know, it's an old 70s film. But anyway, this one is not. It's Kitty, but it's not Kitty. It's got 4 stars. Vaughn's outstanding Kitty novel series. If there's another character nearly as intriguing as Kitty herself, it's former werewolf runner Cormac Bennett. Loyal readers of this long-running series will be delighted to learn that Low Midnight is a spin-off book featuring fan favorite Cormac and Amelia Parker. With the help of this writing-conscious Amelia, Cormac finishes out his parole from prison and gets his freedom. Knowing Kitty and her husband Ben will worry about him, Cormac decides to follow up a lead on their joint project, trying to decipher the late magician Amy Scallon's encoded book. Katie is positive that the book contains information about the ancient vampire Long's game, but they first must decide how to code it. And I bet him and Amy get together. Let's see if there's any. They never do. Nope. They always put a big one here, and then they do the 4 ones here. They never review this one. They review these, but they never review that one. And I've actually got a few for next month. But, oh, there's that. Oh, I didn't see that the last time. Let's see. Caleb Perrin, Flames of Passion. So that's this one here, the first one. Got 4 stars. Fireman Tyler Mackenzie is ready to move on after his fiancée Carol breaks things up. Then he meets photographer assistant Naya, who, while shooting a calendar with his coworker, and believes he is on the right track to find love with her. Except Naya has a nasty habit of jumping into relationships too quickly and has taken a self-imposed vow of celibacy. I bet that doesn't last too long. Anyways, they don't have pictures of this stuff in here. That was January 2014. What'd you think? I hope you have a good day.